Welcome to Beyond a Happy Marriage. I'm Arcadius.
And I'm Monica.
If you are striving for something deeper than just a happy marriage,
if you want a relationship that's truly transformative, that leads to intentional living,
then this podcast is for you.
We are absolutely delighted to bring our conversations to English-speaking couples around the world. Hello, I'm Monica. Welcome to another episode where we talk about things that actually change lives. Not just in theory, but in real, tangible, everyday reality. Today I want to talk to you about something that affects probably every single one of us in a relationship. Something we all know exists, but rarely understand why it happens. Let me start with a question. Have you ever wondered why you and your partner react to stress in such completely different ways? You know what I'm talking about? That scene that you probably played in many homes, including mine. It's late evening. The children are finally asleep. Well, at least theoretically, because the little one came back twice for water. The sink is high with dishes from dinner. The dishwasher, of course, broke again. Or maybe it's the washing machine, or maybe both. Your partner comes home. You can see it was a tough day. He's tense, quiet. You're exhausted, but differently. You feel like you're carrying the world on your shoulders, but you can't put it down because who else would hold it? And then one comment, one small thing, and explosion. He explodes, raises his voice, maybe slams a door, maybe just storms out. And you? You shut down, go silent. You feel your throat tightening, tears welling up, but you hold them back because you don't want to make a scene. And then you sit down there, on opposite sides of the room, each in your own world, feeling completely misunderstood. Sounds familiar? Because if it does, today's episode is going to change your life, literally. For years we've been told it's about personality, that he's too impulsive, that you're too emotional, that you need to work on communication or understand each other's needs better. But the truth is different. It's not personality, it's biology. And when you understand this biology, when you truly, deeply understand how hormones shape your stress response, everything changes. You stop fighting against each other. You start dancing with each other. So take a deep breath. Maybe pour yourself some tea, get comfortable, because in a moment, we are driving into groundbreaking science that rewrites the rules of relationships. Let me start with something that sounds like science fiction, but it's 100% science. Your body and your partner's body metabolize stress in fundamentally different ways. This isn't just about feeling differently. This is about your brains, your hormones, your nervous system responding according to completely different algorithms. And here is where the fascinating story begins. For decades, scientists studied stress as something universal. Like some pressure, cortisol goes up, fight or flight, response, and that's the end of the story. But in the last 2 decades, they discovered something that completely changed this perspective. They discovered that the same hormones that regulate fertility, testosterone in men and progesterone in women, also shape how you respond to stress. Do you hear that? These aren't separate systems. Fertility and stress are intimately connected. And this makes deep evolutionary sense because for thousands of years, the survival of our species depended on whether men and women could respond to threats in ways that complement each other. Not, you react like me or it's wrong, but you react differently than me because together we create something complete. Complementarity, not conflict. But before I get into how this works in practice, I need to show you the mechanisms. Because when you understand why what happens, you'll be able to transform your daily life. Let's start with men, with testosterone. When your partner faces stress, whether it's pressure at work, confrontation, or even an argument with you, his body activates an ancient response system. Research shows that men often display a stronger initial cortisol response in the face of acute stress. That means their cortisol levels, the main stress hormone, rise quickly and sharply. Sounds like weakness? Like, that stereotype, men can't handle stress. This is where the magic begins. Because there is one study published in 2015 that discovered something remarkable. Men with higher testosterone levels have lower cortisol reactivity under stress. Let me read that again, because this is key. High testosterone, lower stress response. What does it mean? It means testosterone acts like a shield, a stabilizer. It helps the body return to balance faster after a challenge. Testosterone doesn't create the problem. It softens it. It fuels focus, courage, ability to make quick decisions, physical readiness for action. So when your partner reacts to stress with action, when he wants to immediately fix something, solve it, do something, this isn't lack of empathy. This isn't ignoring your needs. This is his biology saying, I need to fix this now. He's designed, literally, at the hormonal level, for quick, decisive action to protect, solve, act in the face of threat. And for thousands of years, this worked. When there was a predator, when there was an enemy, when there was physical danger, this response saved lives. But, and here is the catch, testosterone works brilliantly in sprints, not marathons. When stress is short, intense, and then gone, the system works perfectly. But when stress becomes chronic, when it's a daily reality, that doesn't let up. That's when the same mechanism can turn against health. Elevated blood pressure, chronic muscle tension, sleep problems, burnout. Because men are biologically designed for acute action, not carrying the weight for months. And here, right here, is where your role begins. Now, let's move to women, to us, to progesterone. Science discovered something revolutionary. The female body has a built-in natural stress protection system that activates during specific phases of the cycle. Listen to this carefully, because this changes everything. There is a phase in your cycle, the luteal phase, that begins after ovulation and lasts until menstruation. That's about 2 weeks every month, every cycle. In this phase, progesterone begins to rise, and research showed something incredible. Women in the luteal phase have significantly lower hormonal stress response compared to the follicular phase. Let me say this again, because you need to absorb this. The luteal phase, that time often portrayed as difficult, as PMS, as the moment when you're impossible to deal with, can actually be the time of your greatest emotional stability and stress resilience. I sat there when I read this and thought, wait. So for years I've been told I'm difficult during this time, emotional and unstable, and this was the moment when my body was most resistant to stress? Yes, exactly that. Because progesterone, this beautiful, underappreciated hormone, has superpowers. I mentioned this previously in previous podcasts. Progesterone and its metabolite called allopregnanolone interact with GABA receptors in your brain. GABA is the neurotransmitter responsible for calm and relaxation. And you know what's interesting? These are the same receptors that some anti-anxiety medications work on. So your body, naturally, on its own, in every cycle, produces a substance that acts like a natural anti-anxiety medication. What does this mean in practice? It means that in the luteal phase, progesterone reduces anxiety, dampens sharp cortisol spikes, promotes deep, regenerative calm, increases your emotional resilience, helps maintain perspective in difficult situations. Progesterone creates calm resilience. This is your body biological superpower. And here is the crucial understanding. When you're in the luteal phase and you feel that deep calm, that desire to withdraw, to reflect, to slow down, this isn't weakness. This is your body's wisdom. Your body is telling you, now is the time for stability, for depth, for calm. And when you understand this, when you stop fighting it and start working with it, everything changes. Okay, so we now have the picture. Him, testosterone, action, focus, protection, immediate response. And her, progesterone, calm, stability, intuition, depth. And now the most important question. What does this look like in real life? How does this change your daily interactions? Let's go back to that scene from the beginning of the episode. It's late evening. You're both exhausted. One sentence too many. And he explodes loudly, intensely, maybe slams doors. You shut down, quietly, internally. Maybe cry in the bathroom. Traditionally, we'd think, we're so different. We'll never understand each other. This is conflict. But when you understand the biology, this isn't conflict. This is complementarity. His explosion is testosterone saying, I need to discharge this physically now. This is his way back to balance. Your shutting down is progesterone saying, I need space to process, internal silence, reflection. This is your way back to balance. And when you both understand this, you stop judging. You stop interpreting the other person's reaction as an attack to you. You start seeing a dance instead of a battle. Imagine next week, you have another difficult moment, but this time, he feels the tension building, and instead of exploding, he says, Darling, I need to go for a walk. I need to let the steam go. I'll be back in half an hour, and then we can talk. And he does it. Goes out, maybe runs, maybe cycles, maybe just walks around the neighborhood, and he comes back different, calmer, ready to talk. Because he used his biology constructively, not destructively. And you? You feel words stuck in your throat. You need silence. And instead of shutting down and making it a matter of pride, you say, I need 15 minutes alone. This isn't rejection of you. This is my need to process. I'll be back. And you give yourself that space. Maybe you breathe deeply. Maybe you write in a journal. Maybe you just sit down in silence and you come back different, more grounded, ready for real conversation. This is transformation. You're not fighting your biology, you're working with it. And now I want to say something that's personally most groundbreaking for me in this whole story. For years, in culture, in media, in relationship books, we've heard this narrative. Men and women are from different planets. It's a conflict that somehow needs to be overcome. But science says the opposite. Men and women aren't poorly designed. They are perfectly designed to complement each other. His quick reaction, your deep stability. That gives a complete stress response system. His physical action plus your emotional wisdom gives a balanced response. His protection plus your calm gives harmony. Neither is better, both are essential. And when you truly grasp this, not intellectually, but with your heart, something shifts in how you look at your partner. Because you stop thinking, why can't he be more like me? And you start thinking, how wonderful that he's different from me. Because together, we're complete. Together. Okay, but I know what you're thinking now. This sounds beautiful in theory, but what does it look like in practice? So what do I do on Monday morning when it's hard again? So I'm going to give you something very concrete. 3 practical strategies you can implement starting tomorrow. Strategy 1. Track your cycle phase. Because when you know you're in the follicular phase, so before ovulation, you can be gentle with yourself. You can know, okay, this week I might experience stress more intensely. That's normal. That's my biology. And when you know you're in the luteal phase after ovulation, you can harness that natural calm. Simply knowing your cycle gives you power. Strategy 2. Communicate your biological needs. This sounds weird, right? But try it. Next time you feel tension building, say, darling, I can feel my cortisol rising. I know you need action and I need space. Let's take 20 minutes separately, then come back to talk. When you name things, when you talk about hormones, about biology, not about character or intentions, everything becomes less personal, less painful. It stops being, you're angry at me, and becomes, your body is responding to stress. That's a subtle difference that changes everything. And strategy 3. Plan with hormonal awareness. When you both know how your bodies work, you can strategically plan life. He has a tough week at work. Don't plan additional stressful events. Give him space to discharge tension physically. You stop fighting biology, you start dancing with it. Before I wrap up today's episode, I want to say one more thing. What we're talking about today, understanding the hormonal design of your bodies, this isn't just science. This is spiritual wisdom. Because when you see how God designed your bodies to complement each other, marriage stops being an attempt to overcome differences. It becomes a celebration of complementarity. It becomes a living image of how diversity creates harmony. And suddenly, you understand that all those conflicts, these weren't design flaws. This was the design itself, designed by someone who knew exactly what he was doing. So next time he explodes and you shut down, instead of thinking, "We're so different, this will never work," try thinking, "We are so different because we are meant to be. Together, we create something beautiful." All right, we're coming to the end of our time. But before we finish, quick recap, and I want to summarize the 3 points. First, testosterone in men helps them react quickly to stress, but it's designed for sprints, not marathons. Second, progesterone in women creates natural stress protection in the luteal phase. This is your superpower. Third, differences aren't conflict, they are complementarity. His action plus your calm give complete system. And finally, practically, track your cycle, communicate needs, plan with biological awareness. And finally, a personal request. If this episode changed something in you, if you suddenly saw your partner through different eyes, if you felt relief that it's not your fault, that you're different, share this episode. Send it to your partner. Send it to a friend who's constantly arguing with her husband. Send it to your sister. Because this isn't knowledge to keep to yourself. This is knowledge that can save relationships. And if you want more science, more practical tools, you can visit our website, natprofam.com. Until next time, bye.